Welcome back, everyone, to HalloweenHaunts365.com, the podcast. I'm Jared.
Hi, I'm Terry.
That's Terry. And today is New Year's Eve, so we are starting Season 2. Moving into our second season. It was a pretty fun year. It hit 91 subscribers in 3 months.
Yes.
Less than 3 months.
Less than 3 months.
2 months. Because really, October we started. Starting Season 2 with this episode. We have a haunt coming up in March. Because I figure we'll head up to the St. Patty's Day at Field of Screams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
that's going to be fun.
We get the Dropkick Murphys going as we go through
right.
the haunt. And I was looking at Brighton Asylum. They're changing their Night of the Freaks.
When is that? Or they're not doing it?
They're not doing it. It's called Halfway to Halloween now.
Oh.
I don't know. It's something new, but it might be worth looking at. That's in May. So we do have some more haunt stuff coming back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to continue our journey through A Nightmare on Elm Street with A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Take a look at this trailer.
Someone is coming back to Elm Street. He is not friendly. He is not patient.
Kill for me.
And he is not a welcome visitor.
No!
But he has something terribly special for the new kid on the block.
It started to happen again. Dad! I'm in trouble. You've had some scary dreams, okay? Help!
Daddy can't help you now.
There's something inside him.
Fight him! You're not afraid of him. He doesn't even exist.
Freddy Krueger is back on Elm Street.
Get out of here, Lisa!
Jesse, fight him!
Watch out for him. He'll be in your neighborhood soon. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2.
You are all my children now.
Freddy's Revenge.
Alright. So, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is probably my least favorite nightmare.
I didn't care for it.
It was still good.
It was okay.
I mean, there's a lot of homophobic stuff around it. There's a lot of weird stuff around it. The acting was good, though. Like, even the parents were pretty good. I don't know. Just something always hit me wrong about it, especially since 3, the best ones, right after this.
I would agree, yes.
I mean, the Dream Warrior.
Yeah, that was a lot of action.
I'm going to stop singing on the podcast because that was horrible.
Quit your day job.
I should start singing on here. Like that dude we saw on TikTok. Just make crazy songs for YouTube. Yeah, I like it. I like it. But yeah, we got some movie reviews coming your way. Some more true crime. Some more haunt stuff. Not a lot going on in the haunt world right now. The Christmas shows are wrapping up. Did see some decent attendance of our local ones. I heard Field of Screams had a competition at theirs for Christmas. It was Den versus Asylum, and Asylum won.
Oh, wow.
Basically, you were allowed to go to 2, and then they gave you a third ticket to go back to your favorite one. So whoever had more tickets won the contest.
Oh,
So,
that's pretty cool.
Pretty fun idea out of Jim and the crew there. But we're going to keep moving on with The Nightmare on Elm Street 2. We just saw the trailer. I don't own the rights to that trailer. It's going to yell at me at YouTube, but that's okay because, we're not worried about that right now. But it was Freddy was definitely scary in here, and they definitely broke a couple rules throughout the movie. Well, you always got to break rules. But let's get into the plot. 5 years after Freddy Krueger's apparent defeat, the Walshes have moved into Nancy Thompson's former home. Their teenage son, Jesse, has a nightmare about being stalked by Krueger driving a school bus. Pretty cool scene.
That is
I don't know how they ended up on the cliff from just just going off-road for a couple minutes, but whatever. But it was really cool how he used those knives on the back of the seat. That always stuck with me in my head from when I was little. Jesse he wakes up and attributes the dream to the unusual heat in the room. Jesse goes to school with his friend Lisa, whom he is interested in romantically. Lisa was a good actress too. I like all the actors in this movie.
I agree.
He's far too shy to flirt with her. After getting into a fight with a boy named Grady during gym class, Coach Schneider, who's an interesting character, has them stay after class and they become friends. Yeah. Lisa comes to visit Jesse after school and they discover Nancy Thompson's diary detailing her nightmares, which are strikingly similar to Jesse's. Small fires happen around the house, which culminates in a spontaneous combustion of their pet birds. Jesse's father blames it on him.
Yes.
And that's dads towards teenage kids. Hey, why'd you make the bird blow up? What the fuck?
Right.
Moving on. The following night, Jesse has a nightmare where he encounters Freddy, who tells him to kill for him. Kill for me. The dreams grow more intense, and Jesse unsuccessfully attempts different measures to keep himself awake. He eventually begins wandering the streets at night, which was random, because you didn't know if he was doing it for real in the dream.
Right.
They had a hard time putting that together.
I do remember seeing that and thinking, okay, is he dreaming or is he actually awake?
Right. One night, he's caught by Schneider ordering a drink at a gay bar and is made to run laps at school as punishment. What gym teacher is going to bring you back to the school and make... Like, that's why I always thought this was a dream. After sending Jesse to the showers, Schneider is attacked by an unseen force that drags him into the showers. That was a cool scene with all the balls popping at him and then the ropes take him away. It was kind of creepy. Definitely a good dream/reality. Like I said, they broke a lot of rules in this movie, and this is one of them. Jesse vanishes into the steam, and Freddy emerges, killing Schneider by slashing his back. Afterwards, Jesse is horrified to see the glove on his hand. So Freddy's kind of making him think he's doing it, but then again, he's not. A weird line between dream and reality here. And this is the only time this happens in the series, because normally you can tell. He's escorted home by police after being found wandering the streets naked, and his parents begin to suspect that Jesse may be on drugs or mentally disturbed. Lisa takes... Yeah, I'd say mentally disturbed, because what the hell is going on? Alright, so, you want to continue from there?
Yes. Lisa takes Jesse to an abandoned factory where Freddy Krueger worked, but they find nothing there. The following night, Jesse goes to Lisa's pool party and kisses her in the cabana, but his body begins to change and he leaves in a panic. He goes to Grady's house, confesses to killing Schneider, and instructs Grady to watch him as he sleeps and to stop him if he tries to leave. When Grady eventually falls asleep, Freddy emerges from Jesse's body and kills Grady. Freddy then changes back to Jesse, who finds himself looking at Freddy's laughing reflection in Grady's mirror. He flees before Grady's parents enter the room, returning to Lisa's house. Jesse tells her what is going on. Lisa realizes that Jesse's terror has given Freddy his strength, but he cannot stop fearing him and transfers again. He locks her parents in the bedroom and attacks Lisa, but realizes he cannot harm her due to Jesse's influence. He goes outside where he begins to slaughter the partygoers. Lisa's father emerges with a shotgun, but Lisa stops him from shooting Freddy, who escapes in a ball of flame.
Yeah. That whole party. It was a great scene. It's my favorite scene in the movie because Freddy is just there fucking these kids up.
Yes.
But how is he there?
Right. Where'd he come from?
The line is really weird, and I've watched this movie 10 times, maybe 20, 50 times, and I don't understand how he's there. But it made for a great scene, and it gave us one of the greatest lines of the franchise. You are all my children now. With the fire behind him and everything. That was great. Like I said, I really liked Freddy's makeup in this. He was scarier before the 3, 4, or 5 movies came out. He was not as scary, but more, I don't know, charismatic or something. Alright. So to end the movie, she drives to the factory. This ending. Anyway, she drives to the factory, facing sudden nightmares and having to control her fear before confronting Freddy. She pleads with Jesse to fight Freddy from the inside, but Freddy's hold is too strong. When Lisa confesses her love for Jesse and kisses Freddy, Jesse finally begins to fight back. The fuck is that?
So you're just playing one against the other.
Freddy combusts and turns to ash, from which Jesse emerges. Later, we can't get the later yet. We're going to hold off. What are with those dogs? With the weird... like, were those... Who were they? Mm-hmm. The dogs with the human faces?
I don't know.
What?
Where'd they come from?
What was that? Was she even dreaming?
I have no idea.
She didn't go to bed. She kind of just left. Was everyone dreaming?
I have no idea.
Like I said, this movie confuses the shit out of me. But Freddy's still cool in it. So even though the movie was crazy, Freddy's still cool. And the acting was good. Alright, back to this. Later, as Jesse, Lisa, and Lisa's friend Carrie are taking the bus to school, Jesse begins to notice similarities to his original nightmare and panics. After Lisa calms Jesse down, Carrie says that it's all over. Just before Freddy's claw bursts through her chest, Freddy laughs as the bus drives into the field. Just as in Jesse's first nightmare.
Okay.
Alright. Let's get to the rankings here. Cast. I like the cast.
I do.
I like Jesse.
The parents, I did like them.
The parents were a good actress. Even the little sister was a good actress. Mm-hmm. For the cast, the one that annoyed me a little bit was Jesse's friend. The one that was in 21 Jump Street. I think she did a shitty job. But she wasn't really in there long. So I'm going a 4 on the cast.
I agree.
Alright. Fear factor. It is one of the scariest ones. And it doesn't make sense. The gym scene. I'm going to go a 4 on fear.
Okay.
You like 4? You can add to this too.
I would say a 3.
All
I
right.
didn't think it was scary at all, but...
Alright.
I don't think any of the nightmares were.
Alright, well, we'll keep it at a 3. Plot. You're getting 2 stars out of me.
Yeah.
It follows nothing.
No. Not at all.
And really, Freddy's in it. Jesse did a good job. Great acting.
They did a really good
almost
job.
Followed a line, but it made no sense. Score. I like the score.
Yes.
I'm going to 5 for score. Special effects. There were some great special effects in this movie. The gym shit going crazy.
The pool.
Him coming through Grady.
Yes.
Him turning from Freddy to Jesse. The pool scene. A lot of good special effects in here. Practical the way I like it. I'm going 5 on special effects.
I agree.
So, if we enter that all together... 4, 3, that's 7, that's 9, 19. 19 divided by 5, it's 4. Overall, a 4. Higher score than I imagined out of this movie. It was interesting. But let's get to the cast. Mark Patton played Jesse. This was Patton's second high-profile film after previous starring in Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean. I never saw that.
I never saw it either.
A number of actors auditioned for the part of Jesse, including Brad Pitt, Christian Slater, Michael J. Fox was considered, but he had the Family Ties, I think that show was called, right?
I thought it was because he was doing a movie
No, it was the TV show.
of Back to the Future.
No, it was the TV show.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kim Myers as Lisa Webbers. Producer Rachel Talalay. Interesting fact about Rachel Talalay. She's the only one that's had something to do with all the movies.
Really?
Yep, she's the only one. That's why they let her direct Freddy's Dead. And
Okay.
before you guys roast us too much, that is my favorite Freddy movie because I enjoy backstory and it was really well acted. And you can all eat shit if you don't like it.
Okay, moving on.
Rachel Talalay later said that Myers' casting was partly because she looked like a young Meryl Streep, and she did, and would possibly gain them more attention at the box office. Listen, Nightmare on Elm Street 1 killed it. You didn't need any more attention at the box office. People
No.
were going. That's like saying No Way Home. Spider-Man needed more attention for the... No, you were fine. Robert Englund, of course, reprised his role as Freddy Krueger. Englund had, after the success of the first movie, asked for more money from the studio, leading to him not being originally asked back.
Oh,
Yeah. After his stunt double proved incapable of replicating his performance, Englund was swiftly reinstated and given a pay bump. They had test videos and it looked horrible. They're like, fuck this, pay him. Kind of like Goodfellas. Fuck you, pay me. Makeup artist Kevin Yeager refined Freddy's look in his film to make him more like a male witch. Englund appears on the screen for a total of 13 minutes.
really?
Yes, he's not in that all because he's through Jesse a lot. And a lot of times you don't
that's
see
true.
him.
Right.
His shortest appearance in the original film franchise. Robert Russler as Ron Grady. Russler was cast in the film during his last day of filming Weird Science. Friend and co-star Robert Downey Jr. accompanied him to the audition. Iron Man came to the audition.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Clu Gulager as Ken Walsh. Gulager was a veteran of films and was cast as the patriarch of the family. During the production of the film, he was injured a number of times, including one scene where a prop parakeet collided with his face, slightly scaring him. They had weird ideas for this parakeet. I think I have some in the fun. Like it was supposed to be an evil parakeet and all this shit. Hope Lang as Cheryl Walsh. Lang, like her on-screen husband, was also a veteran of films. In an interview outtake from Never Sleep Again, which is the series documentary, Mark Patton revealed that Lang had a tendency to drink and actually got him drunk one day during production to the ire of the costume lady who reported them both.
Oh my gosh.
Christine Clark played Angela Walsh, the little sister. Marshall Bell as Coach Snyder. Bell later to star in films like Total Recall. He was badass in Total Recall. He would recall in 2010 that he didn't think that Coach Snyder was a very nice guy. No shit. Melinda O'Fee as Miss Weber. Tom McFadden as Eddie Weber. Sydney Walsh as Carrie Hillman. Joanne Willette as Girl on Bus. She would actually later be cast in Just the 10 of Us, which starred Heather Langenkamp, Brooke Thies from The Dream Master. So there's a lot of Freddy influence from Just the 10
Right.
of Us. I remember Just the 10 of Us. I think I saw like 2 episodes when I was little. Bob Shea made an appearance as the bartender. Shea, head of New Line Cinema, wanted to play the role of Ron Grady's father, but was denied from doing so by director Jack Shoulder, who gave him the non-speaking role of the bartender at the S&M bar that Jesse visits. Shea would later recall in Never Sleep Again that his leather outfit was purchased from the LA store The Pleasure Chest. Ooh. It was pretty funny seeing him pop up in that. Little development. Pre-production for A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 began in April 1985. Screenwriter Leslie Bowen pitched the producers with his idea of using pregnancy and possession as a plot device for the second film. Sounds a lot like 5, doesn't it?
Yes.
My concept was a homage to Rosemary's Baby. I came up with a plot that had a new family move into the house, a teenage boy, his pregnant mother, and a stepfather the boy didn't get along with. It was a real bloody, scary idea, much more physical and realistic because the dream reality stuff was less central to the movies then. My story was more of a possession scenario where Freddy getting inside the mother's room, controlling the fetus, but New Line passed on it because Sarah Reicher, the executive producer, was pregnant at the time. And I understand the idea upset her, so they went with David Chaykin's idea anyway. So, I guess they turned to that for 5, that weird-ass movie. Oh, look at that! Though both films ended up using the spirit possession concept, the pregnancy idea would eventually be used in the sequel, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, which Bohem did write the script for. Robert Shea offered Wes Craven the chance to direct again, but he turned down the offer since he had many problems with the script. Oh, did he? Didn't feel like Shea. Didn't make sense, did it, Craven? Such as the possessed parakeet that seemed very ridiculous to him, and a Freddy merging with the main character and manifesting in real life at the pool party, to kill scores of teenagers, of which many are bigger than him, which Craven thought would diminish Freddy's scare factor as Robert Englund is not very tall in stature. That's funny. Casting. New Line Cinema originally thought to save money by simply using an unnamed extra in a rubber mask to play Freddy.
What?
Yes. As had been the case for mass mute and personal killers like Voorhees, Myers, but reconsidered when they realized that the man had more of a Frankenstein monster, opposed to Robert Englund's classically trained physical acting. The extra as Freddy still remained in one scene left in the film during Coach Snyder's death scene in the shower. Though obscured by excessive water steam, realizing their mistake, the producers quickly brought back Robert, which we know.
That's crazy. So getting into the filming. Principal photography commenced in June 1985. Director John Shoulder.
Yep.
Said in an interview he had very little time to prepare and that the movie contained a lot of special effects, none of which I knew how to do.
A fuck ton of effects.
The film's special effects were headed by Kevin Yeager, who handled Freddy's design, and Mark Schustrom, who was responsible for transformation effects wherein Freddy comes out of Jesse's body. David B. Miller, who created the makeup for the original film, was busy working on Cocoon and My Science Project. In a later interview, Yeager expressed disappointment and confusion regarding the ending of the film.
Shocker. Soundtrack. The film score was composed by Christopher Young. The song Have You Ever Seen a Dream Walking, performed by Bing Crosby, plays over the film's end credits. The song Touch Me All Night, which we know a friend of the podcast, his favorite song, and has a video on Instagram doing it.
Oh.
Jimmy's crazy ass.
Yes.
By Fonda Ray. Whisper to a Scream by Bobby Orlando. On the Air Tonight by Willie Filesen. Moving in the Night by Skagerak and Terror in My Heart by the Reds are also featured in the films. The film opened on 522 screens in New York, DC, Detroit, and Texas areas. Varying figures have been reported for its opening weekend. Daily Variety reported it opened with $3.8 million, placing it the second for the weekend behind Death Wish 3. An advert in the following day's weekly Variety claimed that it grossed $3.2 million, placing it third to Live and Die in LA. Contemporary websites such as Box Office Mojo reported grossing exactly $1 million less than the initial daily Variety, with only 2.9, coming in fourth place that week. Whichever figure is used, the screen total was higher than other films in the top 10. The following weekend, it grossed 1.8 for a total 10-day of $5.5 million, which indicates that the initial figure reported by the Daily Variety was overstated. In the U.S., the film eventually made $30 million on a $3 million budget.
Wow.
That's why horror builds these studios, and then they just shit all over it. There's a lot of homoerotic subtext. If you're interested, head over to Wikipedia. A lot of cool things line up. And Mark Patton just put out a movie. I can't remember the name of it, but I heard it was really good. And it's about his life making this movie.
Oh.
Yeah. And then other stuff's coming up.
Right.
It's called Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street by Mark Patton. I haven't watched it yet, surprisingly.
I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit down and watch that one day. That's the making behind the scenes a little bit of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. We do have some funny facts coming up here. Whenever it wants to move over here. Little technical difficulties here. Oh, you were right.
I was?
Yeah, you were.
Was I right?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can move that over. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. I'm screwing up. We need a new computer. Get this goddamn computer. Alright, some Nightmare 2 fun facts. In the opening sequence, the bus driver is Robert Englund without the heavy Freddy Krueger makeup and his signature. Yeah, I knew that from all along.
Yeah, me too.
New Line Cinema. We already read that one. It's about Freddy wanting a pay raise. This is the only Nightmare film in which the lead character is male.
That is correct. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second.
It's iffy in Freddy's Dead because there's kind of two lead characters,
Right.
but I guess she kind of does take over the lead. A lot of these we went over already. Robert Englund has stated that Freddy's Revenge is his least favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So we got some stuff in common with Robert. Robert, come on the show, man. We can talk about this shitty movie. You keep laughing. You're gonna shit yourself when he's sitting right there.
I would too.
You'll have your old makeup done and everything. I'll be sitting here panting and fainting. And Michael J. Fox was considered for the role of Jesse Walsh, but was unable due to his commitments to Back to the Future and Teen Wolf. You were right.
I was right.
Good job. Good job. Jack Shoulder couldn't direct the pool scene without cracking up or laughing, so he gave it to the assistant to direct instead.
Oh my Lord.
Whale Song was added to the background music anytime Freddy was on screen, adding to the film's eerie dream feeling. What eerie dream feeling? You don't know what he was dreaming.
No.
Ah.
That's true.
Mark Patton, an openly gay actor, has amusingly stated that he sees himself as the first male scream queen. I can see that.
Yeah, me too.
Due to a combination of factors, including the film's homoerotic subtext, the fact that he was often depicted on screen screaming like a girl, that was funny.
That was funny.
And because he viewed the character as a closeted gay man. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Grady caught on to that when he was trying to get him out of his room. The line, "You've got the body, I've got the brains," was Robert Shea's idea.
I didn't know that.
This is the only film in the series not to use Charles Bernstein's original theme or a variation of it. Yes, it is. but they did a good job with it. It was different, but I liked it. The film was extremely well received in Europe. There's a shocker. As residents of those countries caught and loved the sexual overtones. This overseas popularity is what convinced producers to continue making sequels to this. The dance scene was meant as a homage to risky business. Yeah, underwear, doing stupid shit.
I thought of that when I saw it.
Sensing impending embarrassment, Mark Patton was reluctant to film it. We know who wasn't reluctant to film it, Jimmy. Which resulted in its being repeatedly postponed. It was initially stated in the Never Sleep Again documentary that Patton choreographed the scene himself, telling the filmmakers to just roll the camera while he gave it his best shot. Patton later changed the story, telling another website that there's nothing Jesse does in this movie that's not scripted. If you look in the screenplay, it reads, Jesse bumps his ass against the door 3 times, then gets on the bed and pretends to masturbate. None of that was mine.
Wow.
Well, the scene has haunted some of the involved parties for years. Patton said it enjoyed an extended popularity at gay clubs at the time, ergo he no longer finds it embarrassing. We know Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark drove Robert Russell to the audition. The room, which used to be Nancy's old bedroom, has a different layout. I noticed that while they were in there. In A Nightmare on Elm Street 1, the door was attached to the same wall as the window, whereas in this film, the door seems to be in the middle of the room. It's possible that the 1428 Elm Street house was partially remodeled in between the events.
No.
The film actually takes place in 1986, 5 years after the original. Though it was filmed and released in 1984, the original takes place in 1981. Alright, sorry about that quick little break. Had to take care of some stuff, but whatever, we're back. Heather Langenkamp was never asked to come back, and the producers never thought of adding her to the story. Weird. This is a film debut with Kim Myers. In an interview featured in Search of Darkness Part 2, Robert Englund states that he was fully aware of the homoerotic elements of the film and was enthusiastic about playing up these undertones in the on-screen interactions between Freddy and Jesse. Mark Patton says in Never Sleep Again that he had to say no to some pieces of business, such as Freddy putting his blades in Jesse's mouth, that made him feel uncomfortable.
What?
What was his original script? Like, what the fuck? Mark Patton was the one who insisted to the casting director that he wanted Kim Myers to play the role of Lisa. The school used in the film was also the same school used in The Karate Kid.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
One of the inspirations for Freddy's look in the film was the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. Funniest fact is, in Freddy's Dead, Freddy played the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yes.
Special effects man Rick Lazzarini created a demonic parakeet puppet for the scene in which the Walsh's pet bird flies around and explodes. His puppet was not used because the filmmakers wanted a regular-looking bird. Whew. It's crazy.
So that was really a bird? A bird? Like a live bird?
No, it was a prop because it blew up. You can't blow up real
That's what I
birds
was
on
gonna
movies.
say. What? PETA.
There's a novel around based on the screenplay, was written by Jeffrey Cooper and featured within The Nightmares on Elm Street, the continuing story, parts 1, 2, and 3. I have never seen that book. This is the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie where Freddy Krueger's sweater has stripes on the sleeves along with the torso.
Oh, yeah. I had to think about that.
In 84, the stripes were only on the torso.
Yes.
The only film in the main series, excluding the remake, which we don't talk about here, Freddy's Dead and Freddy vs. Jason, in which, aside from Freddy, no one else from the film reappears in another film in the series. Yeah, because no one else moved on to 3.
Nope.
Just 3, they started with, like, they're the last of the Elm Street kids. Oh. at 92 years old, Clu Gulager is the third longest-lived Nightmare on Elm Street cast member. Priscilla Pointer, who appeared in Dream Warriors, is the second at 97, while dumbass Zaza Gabor, who also appeared in Dream Warriors herself, is 99.
She's still alive?
I don't know if she's still alive. I'm going to have to Google that.
We will have to Google it.
Yeah. But that's our fun facts around this really strange, weird movie. I mean, our math gave it a 4, just because the cast was good, the score was good, and the special effects were good, but really, viewing-wise, I'd give it around a 3. I mean, you kind of have to watch it to keep up with the franchise and all that, but there's better nightmares, there's better horror movies and stuff like that. That's going to wrap up A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Any final thoughts on that weird-ass movie?
No.
No?
No. I can't wait to move on to 3.
Yeah, 3. 3's my favorite. That and Freddy Just Dead. And Freddy vs. Jason I enjoyed a lot, too. We'll cover all that coming soon. Like I said, this is episode 1 of season 2. Excited to see what the year brings. We were able to get to 91 YouTube subscribers in 2 months.
Awesome.
The website just hit 120,000 views in, I think, 7 years of doing this, the haunt reviews and everything.
Yeah, we've been doing it for 7 years.
Yeah, we're moving into our 8th season next year. Excited to see what these haunts are bringing. We're trying to put together some haunt news for you guys, see what we can find. I did hear a story, I forget where I found the article, but a kid in Thailand died in a haunted attraction.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he had, I think it's called broken heart syndrome, where your heart's weak, and you don't really know it's weak until you get jolted, and then it kills you.
Oh, shit.
So, like, the haunt did everything they could. They rushed right to the kid, shut everything down, turned all the lights on. The haunt did good in their part, but the kid was gone before he hit the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll have that story among other stories. That's just a story I read I don't remember where I read it. I should have wrote it down. But not our story. We can't take privilege. And like I said, we showed a preview from Nightmare on Elm Street 2 earlier. New Line Cinema owns all the rights to that, so come on, click subscribe if you want more info on horror movies, haunted attractions, haunted attraction reviews, haunted attraction behind the scenes. Look at my pretty face all day.
Yes.
Just hit the subscribe button. That's all we have for you today at HalloweenHaunts365.com, the podcast where every day is haunt season. Goodbye.
Bye.